harms other neighborhoods around here. But we think of her as our agent because she's established that relationship. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about farming. The first season, I want you to think about the word, think about a garden, think about a farm. When someone is going to farm or be a farmer, they find fertile ground, they find a piece of land that will grow the crops they're trying to grow. They then rototiller it up, get it all churned up. They rake out all of the debris, the rocks, the roots. They lay out the lines, they put down the seeds, they cover it over, they nurture it, they water it. Every now and then they might put a little bug spray on it. And eventually there are little shoots that come up, little tiny crops in the beginning. Just a shoot here or there. Have you ever seen the very beginning of a garden? It's just little things pop up. One morning they're there. They weren't there yesterday. And it starts out small, and then it grows and grows, and by the end of the summer, you have so many tomatoes and so many squash that you're giving them away. You're giving it away to other people. And that's what farming is. And I want you now to take it to our business. Take it now to our business. It's a longer-term prospecting strategy designed to create top-of-mind awareness. Now, the first season of farming is the getting to know you, getting acquainted. It's simply where you're out and about, talking to people, knocking on doors, getting to know them, getting them to know you. The second season of farming, which is the 6-month period, is where you're building your name recognition and where they're starting to believe that you are, serious when you said you are specializing in real estate in their neighborhood. And by the end of the first year, they should see you as the person who's a specialist in this area. When you're going to reap the most crops will be in the 18 to 24 month time frame. That's when you're going to reap the most. Now, does not mean that you're not going to get business along the way. You're going to get plenty of business along the way. But when you can actually sit back and rest on your laurels, when you can actually say, oh my gosh, I'm just sitting here, they're calling me. I got a call yesterday from my farm area, and then somebody called me this morning. It's working. It worked. Now, it doesn't mean you can quit, though, because now you spend the rest of your career in real estate defending your territory to make sure that no one slips in and takes it away from you. So it's a forever thing. On page 3, today we're going to learn how to farm, but before we learn how to, I want you to make sure that you choose a good area to farm. I want to make sure that you spend some time thinking it through. Think it through before you act. Select a territory. So how do we do that? Now, some of you have been in real estate for many years. You already have your farm area. So you did this a long time ago, or you did like most people do. You just said, that's a pretty area. I like that neighborhood. And chose it without thinking it through. So if you're not getting the kind of business that you think you should, it could be because you're not truly farming the area. Perhaps you're really doing more of a cold canvas, one shot every now and then thing. Or it could be that you never took the time to look at the territory to begin with. So if you already have a farm area, go back now and use these guidelines to see if you would have chosen it if you had known what you're going to know today. So how do you select a territory? First of all, you have to choose a location that is going to be a good location. What is a good location? We're on page 3. First of all, it should be within your company's service area. Now that sounds like an obvious, but if I said to you, where is that? Do you know the answer? If I said to you, what areas does your office service? Where does it end? Do you know? Well, your office is licensed for the entire state in which you live and work. So are you. So, but does that mean that if you live in Mobile, Alabama, that you're going to drive 8.5 hours to Huntsville, Alabama to lift the house? I don't think so. Nor do I think that if you did, that you would be doing the seller a service, since you don't even belong to the MLS there, you know nothing about, that's the area there. And would you even ever be able to get a single agent in your own office to go and show it to you if a call came in about it? Or would they talk them out of it? Or simply say, well, sir, I'm not going to be able to show that to you. Location is critical. Is it within your company's service area? If you don't know what that is, ask your broker. Give them a map. Ask them to draw out where she believes the service area is, and stay within that, so that you will have help from the other agents in your office in showing and selling your listings that you get. And it could be an area that your office is planning on expanding into. That would be okay. The community where you live might be a good choice. On the other hand, might not. Let's look at the advantages and the disadvantages of choosing your own neighborhood. And I'm not going to try to sway you one way or the other. I just want to give you the facts, and you decide. The community where you live can be good, because when you choose that one, you're pushing the easy button. It's easy. Walk outside your door and you're at work. You don't even have to get in your car. There you are, you're at work. You can drop things off easily. You know the people. They're going to open the door to you because you're a neighbor. You push the easy button. The community where you live, you have a lot at stake. They know that. You care about the neighborhood. They know that because you live there. But what's the downside? What's the downside of your own neighborhood? The downside is this: you need to be full-time. If you're not full-time, they will know it because they live there and they see your comings and your goings. And even if it's the only job you have, but you're not really working it like a full-time, everyday, full-time job like any other job would be other than real estate, then they're going to know that too. They see you out playing in the yard with the kids too much, or in the street with the kids, or planting flowers on a Saturday during the day, and they're wondering why you're not out there showing houses. Thought she was in real estate. She's always home. It has an effect. And so you want to be full-time in real estate if you're going to choose the neighborhood where you live. The other things to think about are you will be getting personally involved with your neighbors. You'll know a lot about their situation because they tend to have to share that with you when they, are buying or selling, like financial things and stuff like that. That might be awkward for you, might not, but it could be. And they know where to find you when things go wrong. And a lot of real estate transactions can go awry. That's probably an understatement. And people sometimes get upset, and they tend to want to blame a realtor even if it's not your fault. So you'll be dealing with that closer to home, literally. So that's the downside. I want you to weigh it. There's just as many good reasons to choose your own neighborhood as there are bad, but you need to weigh it. Now, going back, it needs to be an area either close to where you live. If it's not your own neighborhood, it needs to be close to where you live, or make it easy. make it between where you live and your office so that you'll go there. You know, you need to be in your farm area every couple of days driving around to see if there's any new for sale by owners, to see if there's any new listings that someone else got that you should have gotten. You need to know about them. And you might have to drop things off to people that you promised. You've got to do your actual farming activities in that neighborhood, which we're going to talk about later today. And so if you make it to where it's close by where you live or close to your office or in between, you're more apt to do it. If you make it clear across town, you know what I'm going to say this morning? Oh my gosh, there's a terrible thunderstorm, it's raining, some lightning. I'm not going to go there. I think I'll wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm tired. I need to get home. The next day, oh, it's getting dark. I don't like to drive after dark. I'm not going to go over there. I'll go over there tomorrow. We tend to put things off if we don't make it easy, so think it through. And it needs to be an area that you would feel comfortable working in long term, because this is a commitment. You don't jump farms. You don't start farming an area today and decide a year and a half from now that you don't like that area anymore. You're going to switch to another area. You're making a financial and a time commitment. You need to stick with it. Good farmers farm the same area year after year after year throughout their entire real estate careers. I farmed at Georgetown South, and I kept on farming Georgetown South. At some point, you get an investment into that area, and you need to stick with it. Now, let's go back for a minute and talk about the community where you live, okay? Choosing that. And I want to give you an example, because some of you might say, well, I don't, you know, I'm not going to really, I'm going to be not working real estate like 8 hours, 10 hours a day, every day. I'm just going to kind of play a bit in real estate. Nothing wrong with that, if that's what you want to do. But just know that that's the kind of living you're going to make, and that's fine. Whatever you want, when you get it, you're a success. But you're going to find, if you're farming your own neighborhood, and that's what you're doing, that there will be people who won't work with you. I'm going to give you an example of that. I have a neighbor. We share the same driveway, and they, for some reason, they made ours smaller than everybody else's. We're duplexes, and she's like a cross from mine. And we share the same driveway, is what I'm trying to say. There are 2 parking spaces. I have one, she has one, and then we go into our garages. But when we leave our garage, we have to be real careful. I have to be real careful not to hit her car if she's coming out of hers, because that's how tight we are in here. So I absolutely know her comings and goings, and she knows mine. Now, she's a real estate agent. We don't have a Wycroft office here, so if I ever wanted to do something real estate related, considering she's my best friend as well in the neighborhood, wouldn't you think that I would choose her to list my house with if I sold it? No, I'm not going to, and I won't, because I do know her comings and goings, and she's here more than she's out and about, and that tells me she's not serious. She's not full-time in real estate. She'll say she's full-time because it's the only job she's got, but I can tell you that nearly every weekend her grandchildren come, and they're at the pool right across the street from me, where I can see that they're there and hear them there.
Nosy.
And she does a lot of other personal things. Once in a while, I'll see her dress for business and leave because she has an appointment. But most of the time, she does not. Now, that's okay. She does complain to me that she doesn't make as much as she'd like. Well, you know, it's no wonder. You got to work this business if you're going to make the money. But I'm going to read to you something. I'm taking the liberty, and she gave me this. This is a beautiful flyer with her picture on it that I'm looking at. It's on heavy cardstock, and it's very well done. But this is a perfect example of why I won't be listing my house with her. Not just the fact that I live here and know that she is home more than she's working. But even if I didn't know her at all, and she gave me this little card or flyer, whatever you call it, about herself, I would not choose her. So I'm going to give you, this is a little bit off the topic, but I want to tell you what not to do. This is about the worst bio I have ever seen in real estate. You ready? I'm not going to use her name because she is my neighbor and I love her, but let's say her name is Ann. It talks about Ann's experience in the real estate industry along with her background in banking make her a valuable resource for all buyers and sellers. That's good. That's where she grew up and where she lived previously before moving to the Gulf Coast. That's okay. She loves to travel, but feels privileged to live in one of the most beautiful places in the world. That's nice. She's saying something nice about the community. She likes being involved in her church, nothing wrong with that, and delights in time spent with her 2 granddaughters. She enjoys spending time outdoors walking, biking, snow skiing, and likes to travel, both internationally and closer to home. Now, knowing my luck, she's going to be traveling internationally, or maybe closer to home, or walking, biking, snow skiing, spending time with her grandchildren, being involved with her church, instead of selling my house. That's a perfect example of the bio you don't want to write, the flyer you don't want to send out there about yourself. It goes on to talk about her qualifications, and all of that's good, but she just told everybody in this bio that she doesn't work real estate seriously. So that's what I'm talking about. And people can sense it even because you live in their neighborhood. They see you're coming and you're going. Now, if they see you out all the time, morning out, because you've got your car signs on your car, you're out and about all the time and seem to be working hard and dressed professionally, they think, wow, that person's serious about real estate. Turnover rate. Next thing you want to look at is turnover rate in the area that you're thinking about working. So what is the turnover rate? You see, you could work your little heart out in an area, but if the area doesn't turn over, in other words, houses aren't sold in the area, aren't being sold in the area, then well, what are you doing all that for? So let's say that we've chosen a location that we like, that we feel comfortable in. It might be our own neighborhood. It might be something else. It's somewhere between our office and our home. It's within our office and service area. Now, what I want you to do next is I want you to go to the MLS. I want you to find out how many homes in that neighborhood, in that area, that geographical area, sold last year. Let's say that 20 sold. Now, count the number of homes or find out the number of homes in that area that you're considering working. Let's say there's 200 homes in the area. And you already found out that 20 sold last year. Now, if you can, go back as many years as you can with your MLS. Sometimes they'll go back, 2 or 3 years. And come up with an average of how many sold. Now, remember from elementary school, when you divide the big number into the small number, in other words, the 200 homes into the 20 that sold, you get a percentage rate, right? In this case, the percentage rate